Lumberjacks.
Lumberjacks is sponsored by Echo, only professional grade with 5-year warranty. Krown, protect, maintain, save. Gas Guzzler lifts gas and oils from land, vehicles, and tools. YAMAHA, conquer outdoors.
We're here in Brechin for the exciting conclusion of the Ontario Lumberjack Championships. We've had a great start to the competition. We're looking forward to an exciting conclusion. Hi, I'm Bill Debo with my co-host, Lumberjack sport analyst Rod Cumberland. Now, Rod, we have a couple events yet to come. We end things off with a hot saw, but before that, we got the single buck.
Single buck, and we have the guys that make saws and manufacture them, ship them around the world. J.P. Mercier, Donald Lambert, even Gaston Dupre's in the twilight of his career, but he still makes a great single buck. And he's being chased desperately by the guys in the East. Mario Bourque, Marcel Dupuis, Scott Reed, those guys are starting to really come on in the single buck.
Now, in the hot saw, we use the term world-class a lot. We truly have a world-class field. We got anyone of 10 guys that can win this one.
Flip a coin. J.P. Mercier's got a huge saw, but Marcel Dupuis, Paul Woodland's a world record holder. We could just go on and on. I mean, all these guys, that's going to be a real dogfight to the end.
Well, we're heading into the final stage of the Lumberjack competition here in Brechin, Ontario. And if we look at the leaderboard with only a couple events to go, it's really a two-horse race. Marcel Dupuis from Memramcook, New Brunswick, and Cecil Starr, the local favorite from Dalrymple, Ontario, are really threatening to run away with this. 25 points separating the two of them as we're heading into the first event of the day here, the single buck.
Mario Bourque from Memramcook, New Brunswick, and I work for Correction Service Canada.
Hello, my name is Marcel Dupuis. I'm from Memramcook, New Brunswick, and my occupation is a firefighter for the city of Moncton.
Well, here we go with the first heat of single buck. Rod, you know these guys well. A couple of New Brunswick guys. Marcel trying to battle Cecil in the standings, taking on Mario in the single buck.
Compete against these guys all the time in New Brunswick, and of course, both of them from the same hometown. Mario actually got Marcel in the sport, and Marcel is really taking it on.
Nice, strong strokes there. Marcel Dupuis looks like he's going to win this heat over Mario in the first heat. Marcel sets a time at 13.9 in the single buck. Pretty good cut, but I would suspect you'd like that beginning back.
Oh, you're right there, because I had a little hang up there, and if it weren't for that, that was a very good cut for me.
So what happened there? You just got too aggressive too fast?
No, I think I changed my angle. I lifted up on the saw a bit, and then that hooked the raker for sure.
And hooking a raker in the single bucket throws off your tempo, your rhythm, everything in it. It really sets you back about 2 seconds in the sawing.
Well, it certainly cost him. He was flawless the rest of the way. He's got a pretty good time at 13.92, but we got a lot of good competitors to come. We got a young guy, Mike Coors on the right-hand side, taking on Gaston Duperry, who's been struggling at this competition to date.
Gaston's run this saw for at least 10 or 12 years. We've seen him with it all the time. He's usually filing it right before the event. Look at Mike Coors. Oh, he had a little bit of a hang up there with his saw.
Also hanging a raker, Mike Coors, but Mike Coors dropping down the block quite nicely after that. Mike Coors has a time of 15.0. You know, sometimes my job is to look for things that went wrong and ask questions about what went wrong there. I'm looking at a pretty good cut there. Are you happy with that?
Not bad, except for one stroke. I just got this saw 2 months ago, so I'm still working with it and learning how to run it. But it seemed to cut well, and if I didn't have that hang up, I probably would have been 14 maybe. So.
Donald Lambert, Saint-Gilles, Quebec. I am a technical solution specialist for Ricoh, Canada.
Dave Angasser, Cortland, New York. I'm a line mechanic for New York State Electric and Gas.
Well, as we head into heat number 3, we still have a time to beat at 12.61 set by Scott Reed in an earlier heat that we did not see. Here we got Lambert versus Angasser.
And Angasser's running a J.P. Mercier blade. You can tell them by the red handles, and it is sinking in this wood, but Donald Lambert is not going to give up any room at all in the single buck.
Fantastic pace with no flaws in either competitor right now. It's going to be really close. Donald Lambert stumbles at the end, but he still wins the heat with a 14.3. Hey, that was a real good race with Dave, and was really close to the end. Looked like he might have passed you. What happened to you at the end there?
Well, I think I pushed too much at the end, too far away, and the weight of the tool just hooked me. I knew that. I just was in a hurry a little bit, so I didn't thought to it.
Yeah, when there's a good race going on there, sometimes maybe you try and go too fast and you don't think properly.
Yeah, well, you expect, well, you don't know because the have it in my back so I don't see it. So, but it shouldn't bother you.
Well, heading into the final heat, we got JP Mercier taking on Cecil Starr. Still, Scott Reed, Truro, Nova Scotia, hanging in there with a 12.61. We got JP Mercier, one of the best, if not the best, single bucker in the world, taking on Cecil Starr, one of the co-organizers of this event.
Cecil Starr definitely has his hands full with JP Mercier. He just filed up this new crosscut saw, and it is eating the single buck wood alive. Look at it sinking this wood.
Cecil struggled at the beginning, and he struggled again there. A couple of lapses in concentration. JP Mercier is going to win this heat, and he wins the single buck with a 12.5. So we watched a whole bunch of heats in the single buck already go. Everybody seems to be making one or two small mistakes. What does experience do to try not to make any mistakes?
It's kind of hard to tell, and honestly, the wood felt funnier than I was expecting. It's hard to explain, to describe it. So then I just kept the focus and then make a nice stroke, and few times I was close to make the same mistake. I said, and just stay focused on it.
Well, as you'd expect, French Canadians all over the leaderboard here. The only exception, Scott Reed from Truro, Nova Scotia, finishing second.
You know, one of the most important parts of any good lumberjack competition is the crowd itself. You got to keep them entertained, happy, and most important, comfortable. I'm here with Jim from Link Climate Care, and you know, as a sponsor, I know you wanted to get involved with this event. It's a fantastic event here in Brechin, and your decision was to bring some more bleachers in.
Yes, last year when I was here, the bleachers were almost non-existent, and I thought it was such a great event that it should have bleachers. So getting together with Shannon, I told her that we would look after that for her.
What does everybody think of the bleachers here? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, here we are with just a few events still to happen here at the Ontario Lumberjack Championships in Brechin, Ontario. Great job by Shannon O'Donnell, helped out by Cecil Starr, put this whole competition on. We are headed to the Underhand Chop. I'm going to show you the top three heats. A couple of French Canadians here, Gaston Duperry, JP Mercier, arch rivals.
And they're actually masters, of course, of the sawing events, and JP, of course, manufacturing crosscut saws. And they're going to go head-to-head here in the Underhand Chop.
Here they are, stroke for stroke. 12 inches round of aspen. Big slab coming out of Gaston's, but he's got his slabbing nails in. He'll be okay. Both guys hitting it hard and good and clean.
Nice and clean. JP, oh, they turn together. JP's lines are looking really smooth right now. He's in the groove. JP usually not a real strong chopper, but he's having a great underhand chop here.
Who's going to take it all the way to the finish? Gaston running out of gas a little bit. JP looks like he finishes things off at a 24.4. You know, a little bit earlier we were talking about some of the younger guys are coming on strong. Some of the older guys have still got a lot in them too, right?
I think that's what we call experience.
And this game of lumberjack sports, it's not just muscle and youth. It's some
experience is probably, it's 60% of it's come from the experience. You know, young guy, they got the muscle, you know, they got a cardio, we still got a cardio because we can still train and do a lot of exercise for it. But then, when you got it stick in your head, and I did exactly what I wanted to do.
My name is Mike Coors. I'm from Russell, Pennsylvania, and I'm a logger out in the woods every day.
Dave Engasser, Cortland, New York. I'm a line mechanic for New York State Electric and Gas.
Well, Mercier set this time to beat at 24.40. Here's a couple of guys with a fair amount of experience. Engasser versus Coors should be a good race.
And Engasser, you see him not sliding his hands. That's very uncharacteristic. Most guys nowadays do. He's doing what we call clubbing, and of course, that's a throwback to the Mad Bush days.
Both guys neck and neck. Engasser makes his turn over to the backside first. Mike Coors right with him.
They're swinging hard and fast. They're getting into their small wood. They're going to be driving off here in a couple of strokes.
Engasser and Coors is going to be very close. 24.40 is a time to beat. It's going to be close here. Engasser and Coors. It looks like Mike Coors just edges out Dave Engasser.
Time at 25.5. He's in second place behind Mercier.
Almost like a knuckleball pitcher. There aren't too many of them around. You're a clubber. Most guys are sliders, you know, slide their hands. Just tell me why you've never strayed from that strategy.
Well, actually I have. I started out sliding years ago in Matt Bush. Excellent chopper. He club slided. I didn't do it because Matt did it, but I was having problems presenting the log to the log and getting my hands together. So maybe 3-4 years ago over the winter, I split 40 face cord of wood clubbing, and I said I'm going to try it. It was better. I went to Australia this year. Nobody down there clubs. And they all told me you got to start sliding. So I came back, switched to sliding. One day this spring, a buddy of mine came over, said, I said, watch this log. He didn't even know what I was doing. I cut the front slide and I cut the back clubbing without any clubbing practice. And I was more accurate and more powerful. So clubbing ain't the way, or sliding or clubbing ain't the way to do it, but it works for this dumb hillbilly. So that's what we do.
Thanks for your time.
Yep.
Heading into the final heat of the Underhand Chop, we got Marcel Dupuis taking on Cecil Starr. Time to beat is actually 21:44, set by Kyle Spry from New York in an earlier heat. JP Mercier currently in second place with a 24:40. These are two of the best axemen in Canada.
Cecil Starr, we know he's brought his A game here to Brechin, Ontario, and Marcel Dupuis struggled a bit at this competition with the axe event. He's got a big slab off the front of his block, and look at the pace of Cecil.
Both guys attacking the 12 inches round. Marcel turns first, Cecil turns second.
Marcel turns too early, he didn't leave enough wood, he didn't chop enough out, doesn't have good drivers, he's gonna have a hard time finishing this block.
Fantastic pace by both competitors. Cecil really going gangbusters. He falls off the log, but then he finishes things off. Cecil Starr wins the Underhand Chop with 20.86 as Marcel struggles to the finish line. All kinds of stuff going on there. You started with your first 2 or 3 strokes thinking, I'm going to do a relatively tame pace. Then you went crazy for a while. You just picked it up there?
Yeah, I kind of, man, I got to give credit to Marcel. He put the scare in me because he's been whooping me in underhands lately. And my whole goal was just to put some good pace to it and cut clean, and it worked today. But man, he's a beast. He's chopping awesome, and he's a good guy too. You know, it's good to have somebody putting some good pressure on you, and then we get good races, and had some real good races here today, and it's good.
You lost your balance a little bit on the backside there, but do you give up a little bit of power when you go so fast?
Yeah, you probably do a little bit, but when you get into small chips, you gain. It's kind of a catch-22. It's a give and take, and I gambled and went with the speed today, and I've done that quite a few times, and it's worked. So I don't know. We'll take it when you get it, I guess.
Well, with Cecil outlasting Marcel Dupuis in the Underhand Chop and winning it, gives him a big leg up in the overall standings.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Insect Defend Patch. Deep-free protection from biting insects.
Well, just a couple events yet to go here at the Ontario Lumberjack Championships, hosted for the second year in a row by the folks in Brechin, Ontario. We have the women's stock saw. Following that up will be the men's hot saw after the break. This first heat of the women's stock saw is going to be Janet Walker, currently residing in Woodstock, Ontario, but she is a Maritimer, taking on Mary Reeder from Uniondale, Pennsylvania.
And they're running identically tuned Echo CS 680 chainsaws, same bars, same chains, tuned to about 13,000 RPM, and it all comes down to operator performance.
Couple of keys to success in this particular event is getting your saw to the wood as quick as possible, making it through the first cut, obviously. Mary Reeder ahead at this point, ahead of Janet Walker. Janet was a little slow getting to the wood, and Mary Reeder wins the heat as Janet struggles at the end.
Typically at the end of the event, the competitor wants to actually give a little bit of tug on that saw to get through the last little bit of wood, but it backfired on Janet. She bogged the saw down.
I'm Tracy Hunting from Walworth, New York, and I'm a Zumba instructor.
I'm Christine Jibb from Bracebridge, Ontario, and I'm a utility arborist.
11:86, the time to beat, set by Mary Reeder in that first heat. This is the second heat of the women's stock saw. Christine on the right, Tracy on the left-hand side.
Not sure what a Zumba instructor does to train for the stock saw, but whatever it is working for her because she was the first one to get into the wood.
And Tracy Henning is the first one to the second cut as Christine Jibb on the right-hand side. She struggles on her second cut. Tracy Henning lowers the time to beat. Christine, your first cut went pretty good, but just tell me what happened on the second cut.
I think I just was too quick on my changeover. I was maybe a little too confident, just too fast. I should have taken a little bit more time to make that placement, and I didn't, and it cost me.
Well, it certainly did cost Christine Jibb a couple of places in the standings. It's going to be tough to make the top 5 with that kind of mistake in the stock saw. This last heat of the women's stock saw, we have Peg Engasser taking on Levon Michelacci. Time to beat 10.38, set by Tracy Henning in the last heat.
You don't go to a show in New York without seeing Michelacci on the scoreboard when it comes to the stock saws. And here's Yvonne. She's the first one to the wood, and she's through her first cut already.
Peg Engasser trying to keep pace with her as well, but Levon coming through big time on the uppercut, and that's pretty much a flawless performance in the stock saw as Levon Michelacci comes with a 9.17. Here's a classic way to do a stock saw. You don't see any glitches whatsoever. Look at the sawdust coming out from the front of the saw as she makes this uppercut right now. Excellent job by Levon Michelacci as she takes the stock saw event here with the overall standings right now. We got Tracy Henning coming in second, Engasser, Zalewski, and Mary Reeder filling out the field. Well, we're just going to put the finishing touches here of the Lumberjack competition in Brechin, Ontario with the hot saw. A fantastic event to end any Lumberjack competition.
Mary Borg from Memramcook, New Brunswick, and I work for Correction Service Canada.
Hello, my name's Scott Reed. I'm from Truro, Nova Scotia, and I work at the Dalhousie Agricultural Campus.
And here in the hot saw, we got 5 heats, 10 competitors. Any one of the 10 competitors can win this thing. We're starting off with Mario on the left, Scott on the right-hand side. Both guys start their engine at the exact same time. Mario struggles on his second cut. Scott struggles on his first cut. Mario wins the heat as Scott struggles all the way through. Scott, last we spoke to you, you were in St. Stephen, New Brunswick, and you really struggled a little with your power saw. Tell me about your new saw.
New saw I just built, an RM250 dirt bike. Like it. Had a little bit of a speed wobble today, though. My pipe was hitting the bunk. My feet weren't set up quite right. Trying something new. But at least I got 3 on the deck.
Pretty close to the 6 inches.
Pretty close to the 6 inches. Yes, it was.
Hello, my name is Marcel Dupuis. I'm from Memramcook, New Brunswick, and my occupation is a firefighter for the city of Moncton.
My name is Mike Coors. I'm from Russell, Pennsylvania, and I'm a logger out in the woods every day.
Heat number 2, Marcel versus Mike. This is critical to Marcel on the left-hand side. He's got to win the hot saw competition to have a chance at the overall championship against Cecil Starr.
And he's running a big Rotax engine. It's got the parts to do it. Mike Coors, great start. He's got 2 flawless cookies, 3 on the deck, and he has a great time of 5.2.
Just asking everybody about their machines here today. Just give me a brief description of your machine.
It's an 05 250 Honda. Ed Hurd built it just down the road from here. I got it last year, and it's running really good for me so far. And still learning how to run it, but I'm steadily getting better every show. So.
Well, Marcel not doing too well in that particular event is going to really give the overall championship to Cecil Starr at the Ontario Lumberjack Championships. This next heat, heat number 3, Donald Lambert taking on Paul Woodland, time to beat 5.29.
Paul Woodland, a world record holder in the hot saw event. He sold his old saw to Mario Bork. He's running a new saw here. Paul having a little bit of trouble getting the bugs out of this new saw, but he's got it into the wood.
Both guys into the wood quick. Donald Lambert, first guy under 5 seconds with a 4.8. You're the first guy under 5.
Well, I'm pleased to be the first under 5. Well, I missed my handle at the beginning, so I lost a couple of tenths there because I didn't pull hard enough to start the saw, so I was afraid a little bit that, and I'm just sorry my cut, so.
Still 2 heats to go, and the times are getting faster. Now we got a 4.82 by Donald Lambert in the last heat. Mercier versus Engasser right now, and we've seen Mercier have a lot of great times over the years.
He's got CC-wise, he has the biggest saw here. It should be the fastest saw in the wood, but again, it all comes down to operators.
Mercier's got a Rotax on the left-hand side. Engasser looks pretty flawless. Dave Engasser wins the heat, lowers it down to 4.5. Okay, so what's the hillbilly country boy doing beating a guy like JP Mercier?
Well, I guess he let me beat him, but that motor I got from Dave Gear 8 or 10 years ago, built by Russ Lemke. It's a pretty solid motor, and you got to go. I mean,
well, I heard you talking to Cecil earlier. He said you just got to go. You mean you go big or go home, right?
Right, exactly. And with the knot starting good in the warm-up, I was a little cautious to make sure I had a good start, because if you can't start a race, there's no way you're going to finish it.
Well, there's some fine words there from Dave the Prophet Engasser, and certainly valid point that he's making. 4.58 is a time to beat. If anybody can take down that time, it's Gaston DePerry. He's taking on Cecil Starr, who's trying to win the overall championship here in Brechin.
Gaston's won a ton of hot saw events in the past. He's having a tough day here at Brechin. His saw starts. He's got 1, 2. He's got 3 cuts on the ground. Gaston DePerry 4.7.
Last year here in Brechin, you and Cecil went at it head-to-head, and you won again. You just beat Cecil Starr again? How come?
I don't know, but I think Cecil, some place, when we are not lucky at some event, it's all the time the same every year. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And for Cecil here, he's not lucky at the hot saw.
So what do you have? You have a 250 Honda?
Yeah, 250 Honda. I think the start was fast today, and I put and I touch the cold start means when we leave the hand and the bar, the chain touch the wood.
Yeah.
And I think today that this time was very fast.
Well, you can travel to lumberjack competitions anywhere on the planet. You're not going to get a stronger field than this in the hot saw. Top 5 guys within 0.7 of a second.
And that Krown pivotal point today focuses on Dave Engasser with his upset victory in the hot saw, laying down 3 cuts in a phenomenal time of 4.58 seconds.
And the final standings are now in the books at the Ontario Lumberjack Championships. Cecil Starr and Marcel Dupuis making the others a mere afterthought.
And the Gas Guzzler Lumberjacks of the day, Nancy Zaleski from Wisconsin and Cecil Starr, the hometown hero.
You know, Cecil, I know you're involved in organizing this show. It's got to take a lot of energy. I know it takes a lot of energy, but you know, a solid field of competitors and you're coming out on top. How do you manage or balance putting the show together and having a solid day competing?
Well, you know what did it this year was the wood crew and the help I had this week setting up. I took the whole week off and got it set up, and Will Hill and Steve Myhills and Robbie Stewart, man, it made my life so much easier this week.
So pick one event today and tell me which one you're most pleased with, what your performance of all the events you did, which one you're most pleased with?
Probably the underhand, I'd say. You know, I cut it clean. I had that little stumble there at the end falling off, but like I said before there, like Marcel's been cutting tough and he's been putting it to me in the underhand, and it's good to push each other like that, and today I came out on top, and maybe next time he will.
Hats off to all the great sponsors of this Ontario Lumberjack Championships to make this show happen. Now it's time to grab the competitors go down for a big pig roast at Shaw's Catering.
Another huge success for the second year in a row at the Ontario Lumberjack Championships here in Brechin. Great job by Shannon O'Donnell and Cecil Starr in conjunction with all the sponsors associated with this event. A great field of competitors from Canada and the United States. Come back again when it'll be time for Lumberjacks.
Lumberjacks is sponsored by Echo, only professional grade with 5-year warranty. Krown, protect, maintain, save. K100, make water burn. YAMAHA, conquer outdoors.
In just about all the single buck and double buck events these days on the competition circuit, the competitors are using saws called peg and raker saws. There's a couple of different pieces to this saw I'd like to bring to your attention. We have the rakers right here, which rake the wood through these gullets and release the wood from the log. These are the cutters right here, often referred to as pegs. There are two right here. On this small piece of wood with a knife, I'll demonstrate for you and give you a good idea of exactly how that happens. One cut is made here, another cut is made right here. The raker follows it up and releases the wood from the log. And when that happens and spaghetti-like pieces of wood come out of the log, you know the competitor and the saw are both doing their jobs.